Good morning, everyone. Well, today I am playing along with Ginger at Ginger's Corner and a bunch of other embellishment makers and swappers. And today's theme is Daddy Dearest, anything that had to do with Dad. And I know the dad that I'm married to, he likes to fish. So I'm gonna do fishing, and I've already stuck this in here, so I'm not gonna take it out. So I've got a fishing pole, so I'm stamping them, coloring them, and fussy cutting them. And then I have these sayings that are, here I'll zoom in a little, that are Happy Father's Day, you are really great guy, a really great guy, you are fly and dropping you a line. And so with the fishing pole, there's also the fishing jacket, the fishing hat, which they need to keep on, over their ears so they don't burn their ears. The fish net, some fish. And what kind of fish did you say these were? Rainbow trout?
I think those are trout and those are bluegill.
Okay, so that's what he thinks the fish are. So he told me how to color them. And these are the flies. And so I'm just gonna stamp a couple, and I'm actually gonna stamp them onto the paper that I'm putting these in, because I'm gonna send them just loose, because if I was to do a scrapbook page with it, I would want to do a triangle with them. So that's how I'm going to send them. And so I will take that out of there because I'm going to change that. So these are already seasoned, which I always forget to do, but they're seasoned because I rubber stamped with them. So just do them a little more because I got all three of them on there. And then I'll give everybody an extra couple of fish and an extra drop in you a line, and then they can color them a different color if that's what their fisherman catches, a different color fish. Okay, so that's what I've been doing, is rubber stamping them. And then and that's just with Tim Holtz Distress Inks, the black soot, because his inks are the only inks I have right now. And so anyway, let's see here, this is one. Most of them I just have to cut out. Okay, so what I did for this, because there is, I'm gonna take that out of the way and just show you one that's colored. They usually have cork here in case the fishing pole falls in the water, then it should kind of bob up, I guess. I know part of the rest of it's pretty heavy, so I don't know how good that works. But anyhow, so what I'm using for colors, and I'm using Martha Stewart pens, and ink pens, and this color is called Putty. And if you look at this, it looks super light, but it is not. So anyhow, that part, I'm just like, just kind of speckling it so that it has a cork look. So I'm just gonna show you, bits and pieces. I'm not gonna make you watch me color all of them. Okay, and then my background color I used was this one here, and it's called brown yellow, or no, bronze yellow. And so that's what I use to color the rest of the cork in. Let's see if I can get it a little closer. And I think it looks pretty good like cork. Okay. And then I went out and looked at the hubby's fishing poles because he was telling me how they were just black and silver, and I'm thinking, how boring is that? But I went out and looked at them, and that's the color of just about all of them. They were either yellow or black, and then this part here was silver. So this part here, the actual, is that the reel? I have no idea. The rod, I know they're called like rod and reel. So I'm coloring that part yellow, and I'm using a color pencil. So some of the things I used, they're Crayola color pencils. And then this part here, I actually have a silver. So I colored this part silver. And this is a Creative Memories. And I have to say that all my markers from Creative Memories, they all still work. But I rarely use them. But I've been using them more since I've been swapping again. But really I've been using the Martha Stewart ones that I have. Except for they are all a lot darker than what I think they should be. So I don't know if they've changed because I've had them so long or what the deal is. Now this is kind of it's a little shiny, I guess. I was going to say his rod and reels were super shiny. And probably because he doesn't get to fish much, but he'll probably fish more when he retires. He's on vacation this week, so I said, "Are you going to be fishing?" I said, "I need a photo." I think I took a picture of him before when he was fishing, but I don't know where it's at. It's probably in the camera. Okay, and then he had one out there that had a little bit of red on it. And so I thought, well, dang, there's color. I'm going to put red on mine too. And his was just a little like racing stripe of red. It's not very much. So that's what the fishing pole looks like. Okay, and then let's see, I have these ones done. Okay, the fishing net, I actually used a gray pencil. And did all that. I mean, there's not too much to it. I have to make sure I'm in the screen. Okay, and then, you know, this net just looks like a scoop. So I took that bronze yellow that I was using and just did lines, and I kind of curve them like I do this. Here, I'm gonna go real close. Because I don't want them to just look like straight lines, I'm curving them like I'm in a half, like I'm trying to draw a circle, but the circle's really big. So I'm doing just like little bits, and then I do the other way a little bit rounded too. And that's how I did the nets. Okay, and let's see. My fishes, he told me the one, whichever one he said this one was. He said it would be blue on the bottom. And this one I'm just I actually tried to use a marker, and I'll show you the one I did with the marker. Here, it looked pretty bad, like the color. I thought, oh, this is the same color, but it was not. I mean, it was super dark. You really couldn't hardly tell that it had lines on it or anything because it was so dark. So I'm just using a colored pencil for this. And then I had a gray colored pencil that I did the face and the top part of the fish. Okay, and then let's see my other one, my other fish. Is it all on the same one? Huh. My other fish is where? Oh, here's the one it looked like that color, but look at it, it looks horrible. Okay, here's the other one. So, this one here, he said it would be gray on the bottom. I think this is the one that's a rainbow charot. So, he said about half and half, but I said, oh, but artistically we can't have half and half. We gotta have like a little less than half, or you know, a little more of one color, a little less of the other. So I'm just doing the bottom part gray, probably about a third. And I'm just coloring it real light. And then I have this color that says sky blue. And this one I took and kind of did it like when you do like soft coloring, I guess. Okay, whoops, I wasn't even showing. Okay. So just gently. So it looks so, I guess it does look like sky blue. And you know, if you go out the lines, it doesn't matter because you're going to be fussy cutting them. So I did the fin just a little bit more. He said that would be just one of the colors. And I kind of let it run into the gray a little. So just really soft. Okay, and then for my little flies, and I didn't color that silver part. Okay, so for my flies, let's see, he said one would be yellow and gray, or yellow and black. So I used the yellow marker that's called, in this group, it's called Daffodil. And so that's what I did, the bigger part, because, you know, I want more color than what he told me I could have. He said, no, everything would be like this. And I was like, well, when do I get to play with some pink? I did. I said, isn't there any pink fishes? And he says, well, not in the lakes over here. And so that part would be black and yellow. And this I used the pencil. And then for this one here, it's going to be red, and I'm using a marker. What's this red marker? Pomegranate. So he said they would be half and half. Oh, and so, he said that part would be black. So on this one I did use markers for everything. So I just kind of changed it up depending on how dark I wanted it, because the markers seemed quite dark. Oh, and I didn't show you a jacket. So the jacket I am using, where's my marker for that? Oh, this one that's called Putty. And I thought that looked really good for a jacket when I looked them up online what they would look like. And so I went around and just kind of outlined where it has lines. And remember, if you go out the lines a little bit, it doesn't matter because you're going to fussy cut them. And then I did the pockets. And I did a couple of different ways, but I like this way the best, where you kind of have all the little details done first. And I'm trying not to push too hard with this. But I did like that little bit of outline that it gave the pockets. Actually, you don't notice it quite as much when it's dry, but it's still a little bit noticeable there. Oh, and am I coloring where I'm not even in view anymore? Okay, here. Hopefully you seen my fly coloring, but maybe you didn't. Okay. Oh, and I'm totally overdoing it. They didn't look even, and I went over it again. That's what I kept doing before too. Okay, and then I went ahead and did the rest of the jacket. And first I did the outline again, just because otherwise it seemed like I was getting too much ink. So I did do that first. I don't have those markers like some of the ladies do, but you know, maybe if I get using these where I feel like it's worth it for me to buy another set, I would. But right now it's like I don't use them very often. I really like to die cut, and I actually bought a fishing die cut, but it was supposed to rubber stamp and die cut, and I just got the die cut. And I tried ordering the rubber stamps again, and again they sent me just the die cut. So I don't know what that's all about. But I seen that a couple of girls had done some like doodling over the die cuts, so I might try that next time. And so that's the only part I colored with the markers. And then I did the hat. And again, it doesn't matter if you go out the lines because the whole hat's going to be this color. But I outlined it first, and then I outlined this because I figured if it got a little darker during the coloring, that's all right, because I would like the band to be a little bit darker, but I don't even think it turned out a whole lot darker. Okay, and then the inside here, I took this color that's bronze yellow, and that's what I colored this inside with. Hubby doesn't have a fishing vest, so he didn't. It's like, I don't use a fishing vest, so I just had to look one up. But when I showed him, he goes, yeah, that's exactly what they look like. So these I'll just be cutting out. And like I said, if I was to use them, I'd probably, or when I use them, I'll probably do, I'm gonna zoom out again. You know, here's a 12 by 12 paper here. I'm thinking I would have my pictures in here somewhere, and then I would do the hat and the fishing net in one part, and I have this one. Oh, one thing, if you're cutting these out, I could not cut this out. I could not poke through here without, I think, damaging the actual thing. Because here's what I do if I'm gonna poke a hole in something. I guess I could use a hole punch maybe. I usually do this, and it kept wanting to fold it, but I did get through there. So if I come over to the edge, I'll be able to do it. Maybe. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to poke a hole. See how it just kind of wants to bend it? So when I cut this one out, I actually did that before I cut out the whole rest of the fishing pole. But I figured when I use it, I'm gonna put this where my picture is, and So my picture would be here someplace. And I just want to grab a picture, but of course I do not have one. And then I would maybe have the fish down here. I kept picturing the fish hanging like this. And then I would put these, maybe one here and maybe one here, because that's kind of how I see them. So that's why I'm just going to put them in this here, my little bits and pieces. And these my daughter gave me, and it's exactly just enough room to get that fishing pole in there. So I thought that was perfect. It was like she gave them to me just for that. Okay, so I will have close-ups at the end, and remember to go check out the other people that are playing. There's one link that will take you to all of them, but we're also just listed individually down below. So have a wonderful day, and I will see. Oh, by the way, I did a 30 days of sketches today. So if you're watching this and haven't seen that yet, go over and see that. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.